It's time for another episode of the Tech Informist. Let's begin. I'm Kevin.
I'm Brad.
And this is episode 169 of the Tech Informist. First up, Apple Spring device updates.
Popular workflow app on iOS acquired by Apple.
Apple to release a new social media content app called Clips in April.
Apple Continuum?
Destiny 2, destined to launch on September 8th.
Microsoft has a pair of job openings in the Windows mobile space.
Meet Bixby.
AT&T and Verizon pull ads from YouTube.
All right, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Informist. I do apologize for the late release on the last one. It was edited. It just didn't get published immediately. That's on me. I'm still sick, as you can kind of hear. I've still got a cold. Thank you, Cozumel, Mexico. No, I don't. It's my normal March, April kind of cold time. I get this. It'll last 2 or 3 weeks. I should be wrapping up week 2, so hopefully it'll be gone in another number of days. Some coughs, some vicious sneezes that'll just boom out of nowhere. But hey, I'm here, you're here, and it's episode 169. It's hard to believe. It's just moving right along.
Yeah, we're closing in on 200.
Yes, we are. I believe that'll be, I don't know, it'll be some time off in the future. We'll get there.
Math is hard. Don't feel like doing it right now.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah. Math, no thanks. Not today. But today, but really the other day, but we're going to talk about it today, Apple Spring device updates. Now, this is the first thing that I kind of want to talk about is something that we've kind of been hearing rumblings about for a while, and we know Apple has had Product Red, where they take a portion of all proceeds of sales of devices, whether it's the iPods, the cases, things like that come out in red. Portions of that go to help fund something to do with HIV and AIDS in Africa, things like that. I've got a Product Red case. This will be actually my second one that I've had, and I love red. Red's one of my favorite colors.
And here in Cardinals Nation,
it's a great color for Cardinals fans. But this year, they had their spring kind of device updates, refresh, we'll say. Mm-hmm. And now there's an iPhone 7 Product Red version. It's in that nice matte red finish, kind of like the matte black like I have.
Yeah, it's like a metallic matte red, very similar to the Tesla Model 3 if you've seen it.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Very
and
beautiful.
I am not a huge fan of red, but this thing is gorgeous.
Yes. And it comes in a white box with red lettering. Now, I said white box because the front of the device is also white. And that, to me, is the one reason why I'm not like rushing out to sell my iPhone 7 Plus to get this. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I still think it's nice looking. And you could almost say it's kind of still a Cardinals because Cardinals
red and
uniforms are red and white. Yeah, the home uniforms. But I was still not kind of like bought in on that. In a perfect world, it would have a black display facing and a red ring around the Touch ID sensor. That would be kind of like the ultimate if I could Moto X customize the device on Apple's website.
Maybe one day.
Which, exactly. Wouldn't that be nice if Apple gave you that opportunity? You're spending that kind of money on these devices. Give us a little option to customize.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way Microsoft is right now. You can kind of just go out and customize an Xbox controller to your liking. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and a lot of people have taken advantage of it. I will eventually. It's just, it costs a few extra bucks than a normal controller. So you just kind of, it's not something you do all the time.
Right. But you don't buy controllers every day, especially ones that you want in your own favorite colors that you can completely customize. What is it, like $80, something like that?
It's like 80 or 90, somewhere around. It depends. Well, it also depends what you get. I think it's 90 if you put your name or gamer tag or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, I think it's 80 otherwise. But yeah, I mean, I see a world where we could get to that point where the manufacturing processes have got so good that you just kind of custom order your iPhone.
I think it would be great. Now, again, it kind of It's something I've said on numerous other episodes. I wish the companies would give you all these different colors right up front so you could actually choose from, so you don't have to, oh, geez, I'd really like to have that color now. And I don't want to sell my device because I'm locked into a payment plan or something like that. I'm like, I'm not locked into a payment plan, but it's still not going to go through the trouble to sell my device, buy this, try to buy it, because it's probably going to be slightly high demand, probably not jet black at launch demand where it takes some time to get.
Couple months.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing one in person. Maybe I'll run by the Apple store to take a look at it in person.
Oh, yeah, but it's not too far away, so.
No, not too far away at all. But should you upgrade the iPhone SE for double the storage? And this is actually something that I think makes a lot of people happy, because a lot of people still like the smaller display of the iPhone SE, which, again, if we all remember, it's about the same size and kind of dimensions of the 5S. So, again, you're back to that smaller, what was it, like a 4.7, something like that in its display?
4, I think.
Anyway, it's small.
It's real small. It's itty-bitty compared to modern screen sizes.
But what they did this time, and I'm not sure if there's any new colors on this, so it's still the same 4 colors: silver, gold, space gray, and rose gold. And it still has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So again, it's the same physical device outside. Inside, though, you do not have to worry about a low entry storage option of 16 gig. 16 gig go bye-bye. Now we're just minimum 32 and up.
Thank God.
So I think you can get 32, 64, or 128. Yes, it's a 4-inch device. That's true. Thank you, iMore, for that. And it still has the same A9 and M9 processor chips. The same 12-megapixel camera. So pretty much the only difference is storage options.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, to be honest, at this point, 2017, the base entry-level memory, I personally think, should be 64.
Yeah, these days
32
now
is fine.
It better be fine for you and your G6.
Well, we'll get to that later. No, I mean, especially on a phone that you can't expand the storage.
Exactly.
And most of my storage is, guess what, taken up by photos and videos.
Exactly.
So
I believe you can put that on a SD card.
You betcha.
Ooh, you betcha. Sounds like Sarah Palin over there. You betcha. And again, we mentioned the 16 gig iPhone going bye-bye, so that is great news. Some new iPhone case colors. Again, so they've come out with just a number of new colors for that. Some new watch band colors. But one nice thing, though, about the watch bands is the fact that now you can buy the Nike watch band on its own. You don't have to buy a Nike Apple Watch. If you just want those little bands that look so nice, there's like 3 different colors. You've got the all black, looks like all white, or it's probably a silver, kind of gray. And then you've got, that's the pure platinum / white. You've got the black Volt. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the other word. And black. So you've got 3 different ones. I'm actually kind of thinking maybe I would go get either the black or the white one, just to kind of change things up with mine.
Yeah, because you just have the one band, right?
Yeah, just the solid, regular black that came with the black Sport Apple Watch. That's kind of nice. And then there was some other talk, and I think this is what Apple should kind of move to, just sell bands and watch bases separately. So I buy this Apple Watch without a band, and then I just choose the band that I want. I don't need to have a stock standard band that comes with it.
Well,
let me pick out my own band without having to get this, essentially pay for this band, and then have to buy another one.
Yeah, and I wish Apple would just kind of include that band in the box without making the customer pay for it. It's like, you can use this product out of the box. Mm-hmm. And then go and get your own separate band that, like you said, you go and pick out your separate band. Because I think of going to the store, buying the Apple Watch, and getting home and you didn't have a band. You know how much that would piss people off?
Yeah.
I just don't see them taking that road.
Well, I mean, whenever you're buying it, obviously, whoever's selling it to you, they're going to make it very clear and obvious that, remember, you just get the watch here. You still have to pick out your band. They can do it.
I'm sure they could, but again, making it idiot-proof is something...
That's Apple. That's what Apple does.
That's true.
That's Apple's motto. Hey, it's worked for me. So here I am with my Apple Watch, and I've honestly, with my Apple Watch, I turned off the Apple Pay just because it sucks the battery dry.
Really? So the NFC
it will drain. Yeah, I'm like, nah. Now I can get back to my 2 full days, not have to worry about it. It's like right now, I took it off the charger at like 7. I'm down to 88%. Normally, I'd be down in the 50s or so.
Interesting.
Getting the same amount of notifications and everything. I'm like, nah, I don't need that.
Oh, I don't know. With me, I'm a big proponent of mobile pay.
Well, I don't mind it, but for example, we tried that one time where you tried to use
Urban Chestnut.
Yeah, you tried to do your Android Pay, and it just wasn't working with the Square reader.
It is so funny because it worked the week before, so I just don't think the person up. Most people don't. It's like, well,
what are you trying to do?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like, are you serious? They didn't. Oh, you know what? No.
All right, 9.7-inch iPad for you iPad fans, which is not really myself. Now it is not called like the iPad Air 3. They've just dropped the Air in a number and just now call it iPad. iPad Mini stays the same. Still iPad Mini. iPad Mini 4 actually is what is available, and it's been reduced to a single 128 gig model and no processor upgrade this time. The 9.7-inch iPad, which is replacing the aging iPad Air 2, again, it's just going to be iPad, is going to have, let's see, what else is there different? So the biggest change is the processor upgrade. So it comes with the iPhone 6s's A9 chip and M9 coprocessor, supplanting the iPad Air 2's A8X chip, and it's also a smidge heavier and bulkier than both the iPad Air 2 and, strangely enough, the 9.7-inch iPad Pro, weighing in at 1.03 to 1.05 pounds, depending on Wi-Fi versus Wi-Fi plus cellular. A little bit different. Let's see, what else is there as well? It still has a 9.7-inch Retina display, 8-megapixel rear-facing iSight camera with a 1.2 megapixel FaceTime camera, Touch ID sensor, 10 hours of battery life, and you also have the same 3 color options as before, silver gold or space gray.
Man, 1.2, come on. Couldn't put a 5 in there?
Nah, couldn't even put a 2 in there.
Jeez.
Which, it does make you wonder, so why couldn't you just put the cameras that might be in the
older iPhones?
SE or
yeah,
whatever?
Just saying. These parts are interchangeable, I would imagine, to an extent.
Yeah.
Some things that Apple do frustrate me, which is why I'm still sitting in the camp that I'm sitting, which is sort of dipping my toe in everything. But
yeah, you haven't really dipped your toe too much into the Apple world, other than your iTunes and a lot of music and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I've been in that camp probably before a lot of people, simply because the Motorola Sliver came with iTunes.
Woo! Look at there, the Motorola Sliver going way back.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not all of the Apple news, and this is not meant to be the Apple episode. It's just kind of how things fell. A lot of these things were standing out in our minds. A very popular application out there for kind of helping keep things on task and help automate some things is called the Workflow app, and it's available on iOS. Very popular. One of my friends here at the Tech Artista co-working space uses it and said, have you used it yet? I'm like, well, I've got it, but he hasn't really taken the time to he kind of skimmed over, here's what you can kind of do. You can do this, 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 and this, and then bloop, voila, it does this. So the Workflow app has now been acquired by Apple, so that's going to be something that they might work into iOS just by itself. It was a paid app on the App Store. Now it's free, and they just had a big update yesterday. So I updated it because I went ahead and bought it. I never really used it. still installed on my device. So maybe now I'm going to start using it and see how this is going to work. So basically what the app is. So a lot of people say that Workflow is the most powerful app on an iPhone and iPad, that they wouldn't be able to work without it in almost 2 years after its release, which it's been out a little bit longer than 2 years, I believe, probably 3 to almost 4 years now. So Workflow is an automation app for iOS that lets you create workflows, simply, aptly named. It's quite a mouthful, but bear with me. In the app, a workflow is made of a series of actions that are executed in a single flow from top to bottom. So you can do things, like get images from input, and then you can choose different things to prompt you to do things or select multiple. If you want to resize images and just do a bunch of different things, and it helps automate a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to really digging down into it. So if anybody out there is listening, is using and very familiar with Workflow, let me know, because I would maybe like to do a Skype call, or hey, on Apple we can do FaceTime, and kind of get an idea of just how to really use this, because I think it would be something that a lot of people could be interested in. And now that it's free, why wouldn't you want to get on board and just try different things out and help make your life a little bit easier? Though it might be a little bit tougher at first with the learning curve, but if it can actually save you some time in the future, even better. And another app that's going to be coming out from Apple that was announced this week is called Clips. It's supposed to be Apple's new answer to social media content and sharing. I think a lot of people are familiar with apps kind of like Canva, Picasso, we've talked about before, Prisma, where you can take an image and just kind of apply a quick little filter to it and then share it out. So this Clips app is going to let users create multi-clip videos on the iPhone or iPad without timelines, tracks, or complicated editing tools. So when some people on iOS devices open up iMovie, it's not saying it's the most complicated application, but it can be a little overwhelming for people like, oh, wait, whoa.
Might be a little more overwhelming for your parents, per se.
Yes. Looking forward to this, and it's going to have dozens of music soundtracks to choose from to add music and add full-screen posters with animated backgrounds and customizable text, speech bubbles, shapes, artistic filters, so it's just kind of like Mix Mash and Snapchat, Instagram, Prisma, Picasso, all these different things into one.
Yeah, it's throwing them all into one space to where you can get to it easily, but then you can just share it out to the other places that you would normally go to, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, yada, yada.
Twitter, yeah, everywhere, basically. I wonder if it'll allow you to share to Google+.
What's that?
It's still so weird to kind of feel that way, because I was the biggest, Google Plus is the best social media service that nobody seems to be using. And now I rarely go there.
Same could have been said for Windows Phone.
Tumbleweeds. But anyway, the Clips app is going to be supposed to drop at the beginning of April. So just a little over a week away, because this is March the 23rd. And another thing from Apple, and this I believe is the last thing from Apple, so thank you everybody for bearing with us. There's been some possible patent filings from Apple that are leading some people to think they might be considering turning an iPhone or an iPad into a touchscreen MacBook.
I don't know about this.
Now, why is that? Now, you look at these images, and they're just showing, just dropping an iPhone down into where the touchpad is on this MacBook.
And I guess you would
and then
use
it becomes the touchscreen.
Yeah.
And the display then shows up on your regular display.
Well, we already know that touchscreen, or as Apple says, the touchscreen doesn't belong on a MacBook.
Oh, gosh, no. That's why you got the touch bar. Because we can't put it on a screen. I think this might be something very interesting. It's something... I've loved the idea of Continuum from Microsoft. We mentioned on a recent episode that Samsung was going to be introducing kind of their own version
We've seen leaks of their little stand.
Yeah, the little stand, because you have a little dock and stuff like this. Well, this is actually going to be making the kind of a MacBook shell into the dock. And this is not the first time we've seen something like this, maybe to the extent of where it looks like it's a full laptop. But
well, because HP has their own shell for their own Continuum phone, and it is gorgeous. It's a little expensive, but it is gorgeous.
Yeah, and for the HP Elite, I believe, X3.
And if they could make something like that, where it doesn't really have any brains, the brains are the phone, that could get interesting, I guess. It just, I don't know how iOS works with the mouse and keyboard kind of thing. That's kind of...
Well, it really doesn't. That's kind of the thing.
That's true.
So hence, obviously in the first instance, the iPhone is the mouse. And then the keyboard would be fine. I mean, I think keyboards, that's not really a problem because you're just doing text input. You're not.
Well, you can connect a Bluetooth keyboard to iOS on an iPad, so I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that on a phone.
True. So I think the iPhone inside of a laptop shell makes more sense than putting an iPad as the display.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's just dumb. Although it makes sense because, as we just said, Mac doesn't have touchscreen, whereas iOS does. So if you put the screen in where the screen would normally be with the iPad, boom, you got touch. Although, I'd love to see how they secure that big old honking thing up there.
There's no way I would want to buy something like that using the iPad. iPhone?
Makes sense.
I could definitely buy into something like that.
Well, and think of Microsoft's Surface Book. It's so top-heavy. Imagine that big old honking tablet and that top. You're going to have the same problem.
Yeah, you're going to have to put some weight in that base.
And then why even carry that? Because it would be heavier than a freaking MacBook. It just doesn't make sense to me. The phone does. The tablet, nah. I'm good.
Yeah, I can't see that being a success. I can see the iPhone in the base working.
Yeah, definitely. The phone, I mean, those phones are getting so... Oh, any phone, really.
It's powerful enough for the great majority of users out there.
Yeah, because they don't edit podcasts, or they don't do Photoshop, or they don't play games.
They get on Facebook, they get on their email, and little things like that.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to do it, but anyway, the patents have been filed just in case that's something that they want to do, they can do.
So a leaked image of Destiny 2 on a poster, an Italian website has leaked the date per se, and it says September 8th
clearly on
of this year, and it just says straight up Destiny 2. I'm a little surprised that it's just Destiny 2 because all the updates have been like Destiny Rise of Iron or Destiny the Taken King. And just to have a 2, I'm like, oh, I'm okay with it because it's Destiny 2. It's a new entry into the game. Like, you have to buy this separate thing because it's a standalone.
Right. So the whole standalone, separate kind of thing from the Destiny 1 and all its DLC expansions, et cetera, et cetera. So you're a big Destiny player.
I am, and I'm actually getting back into it a little bit. I've been playing more Gears of War than anything right now. However, I'm sort of playing Destiny on the side because they are having an event. It's like the last thing they're doing to kind of send it off into the sunset. Mm-hmm. They're upgrading every single DLC that they've ever done and putting it at the highest level that you can be so that you can get new gear, and they're giving you a booklet to finish. So when you finish 7 out of the 14 events or whatever, you get a special thing for Destiny 2. We haven't seen anything from Destiny 2 yet. I would imagine that this will show up on the E3 stage.
In June.
The curious thing is going to be, are they going to align with Sony again? Or, because of Scorpio, will they try to align with Microsoft this time around? Oh. Because companies do jump back and forth. Look at, for example, Ubisoft. Sometimes they align Assassin's Creed with Xbox, and sometimes they do it with PlayStation. It's a back and forth game. It's a politics thing. Sometimes it's about the money. Sometimes it's both.
Like with Call of Duty, 1 year Xbox version would get the DLC packs first, and then PS users had the wait.
Well, lately, PS4 has gotten all of them because Activision's a little, shall we say, butthurt that Microsoft and EA are kind of buddy-buddy right now.
Yeah.
That aside, Destiny 2 is definitely incoming, and we will for sure hear more very, very soon.
Yeah, it does kind of mention in this brief little post that PS4 users may get access to the beta a week earlier than other platforms.
Okay, and that makes sense. Activision helps Bungie publish the game, so again, I would not be surprised to see it on Sony's stage for the first time. It's not going to hurt my feelings because from what I have seen in the original Destiny, I didn't really miss out on a bunch of exclusive.
No, you might have got
it's
something
very,
first.
very minor. Might have gotten the DLC a little bit early. I'm fine. It's fine. I don't care.
And we did kind of briefly mention Windows Mobile a few moments ago when the tumbleweeds rolled through, but there have been some recent job listings from Microsoft that are related to Windows Mobile that might confirm Microsoft's continued support of the mobile platform. So these job listings are related to 2 program manager positions and a senior program manager role within the Windows Mobile division. In one of the listings, Microsoft describes the importance of mobile in its wider strategy, noting that consumers form part of the agenda.
I'm not sure what to think.
I'm not either.
It's 2017. As much as it hurts to say, nobody's really using Windows Phone. And if you are, it seems like you're a police officer somewhere because it's
It's an enterprise kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's
company-issued phone.
That's exactly what they're doing with it. Potentially, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, so just bear with me, potentially it could be a thing again in the future. I kind of doubt it, because you still need apps, but who knows?
Right. Because you got Build 2017 coming up, and who knows what they're going to show off at Build. They could really have everything figured out with this ARM version of the OS where you can run full Windows applications and programs on your mobile device. So you got that. You got the Windows 10 Creators Update getting ready to ship out in a little while.
Windows 10 on ARM could be a giant meteor. Could.
Maybe that's why they're not spending any money marketing, or why they didn't even bother to spend any money marketing the 950 and the 950
absolutely
XL.
Would not have.
Maybe they were saving the money for a big old push in 2017, 2018.
Who are the people that are going to buy the 950s? The enthusiasts. Those people already know that a phone existed, and if they wanted one, they had one. I had one. It was a great phone. It took great pictures, but there came a point where I was paying for a bill that I shouldn't have been paying for and could have got the other bill for free. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go get my unlimited data on Sprint.
Goodbye.
I'm going to get my free phone, and I'm just going to say sayonara, you know.
And I'm going to use all the same apps on my Android device.
And more.
Which some of those same apps, some work a lot better. I'm curious. My interest is piqued.
Heck yeah.
And I hope they do. I hate to see them possibly throw in the towel, but man.
Well, they can't. On mobile, they cannot throw in the towel. Mobile is everywhere. It is everything right now. They need to keep that platform going for whatever the inevitable next step is. I'm sure it's some form of AR, but...
Looking at the Windows Central article, you look at some of these hero images and these nice pictures, and they got the HP Elite X3 in its dock, and it's like, oh, that's a beautiful phone. And you look at the display, it's like, oh, God, that home screen just looks so nice. I kind of miss it. But then it's like, I don't know. Ugh.
Oh, and go figure, The Walking Cat found this post and tipped off Windows Central.
Really?
Yep. If you don't know who The Walking Cat is and you follow Windows, you must follow The Walking Cat on Twitter.
Cat.
He finds everything. It's incredible. It's like he works for Microsoft. It's kind of incredible. If he does or doesn't, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I really like when you have somebody so dedicated to finding every nook and cranny about a certain platform or thing that a lot of people are excited about. Because those leaks are fun. I love leaks sometimes.
I do too. Yeah.
Not all the times, but a lot. Yeah, but a good portion.
Spoiler alert, I don't want people spoiling movies and games and
E3.
Stuff like that. Yeah. You don't have to spoil all that stuff. Save that stuff. Don't. We'll see. Anyway, there's some job openings, and we'll have a link to the article that has links to those job postings if you feel you have what it takes to fill these positions.
So Samsung's new virtual assistant kind of threw me for a loop the other day. I was not expecting Samsung to make their own digital assistant. Virtual, whatever.
I've heard rumblings of this, but then it's been officially announced. I'll let you say the name.
Bixby?
Bixby. I don't know. I think of Bill Bixby, I think that was the actor that played Dr. Banner in the Incredible Hulk TV series from the late 70s, early 80s.
I think there's a cartoon with a Bixby or something in it.
You might be thinking of Bubsby the cat or something like that.
I don't know.
It was a video game.
So we have Siri, we have Cortana, we have Alexa, and now we have Bixby. I'm not really sure what to think of this. Samsung always seems to be going behind Google's back and just kind of digging that knife in there a little more. They just forego Google Assistant. It's like, no, don't care. Don't want it.
Same with Android Pay.
Same with Android Pay.
We're just going to do our own.
Everything they do is on their own accord. They change Android. They're notorious for changing Android and skinning it their own special whatever. They have their own OS that they've used on lower-end phones. I don't remember what the name is. But they're always going behind Google's back. It's no wonder Google hires the likes of HTC, LG, Huawei to help them out on things because Samsung sure as heck isn't.
Devices,
yeah. However, I'll reserve judgments for Bixby. Perhaps Bixby is a nice assistant, works well. I mean, you got to figure anybody who just go ahead and will buy the S8 because it will be launching on the S8 later this month. April.
Right.
Later in April.
Yeah, it should be announced later this month, officially, and unveiled and given all the details.
I would think it's on next week when they're going to announce the phone.
Well, we are coming up on the very end of March, so it would make sense for it to be next week.
They have a new virtual assistant? I don't know why virtual doesn't sound right to me. I like to say digital. So
digital assistant. Digital personal assistant. Not virtual assistant, even though it is kind of a virtual little person voice in there.
But you have to imagine a lot of the norms who just go out and buy a Samsung phone because that's all they've ever had for a smartphone, or for the most part, for what they've had.
When they hear Android, they think Samsung.
Exactly. And you can imagine that, I have a digital assistant on my phone now, and I can use this, that, and the other.
I can talk to it.
Because, most of the other phones have been able to do that for quite some time, sir.
Yeah, your last Galaxy phone could do the same thing with Google Now.
Pretty much.
Google Home, whatever you want to call it now. I guess we'll try it out whenever we get a review device of Galaxy S8.
Oh, that's a good call.
We can just try that out and see whether we like Bixby or not.
Well, we do have an LG G6 on the way coming. And that's not mine, because I actually ordered my own personal device.
Whoa, he's going to buy his own phone here, folks. Watch out.
I know. Well, I'm actually buying a TV, too, and a Google Home, apparently.
Well, you're getting that as a throw-in.
They're paying me to buy the phone, Kevin. Almost.
No, actually, you could almost say you're getting a free phone.
I'm okay with that.
Almost. I'm paying a little bit for my phone, and I'm buying a new TV and a new Google Home.
All for $708.
And for just a little bit more, I'm also getting a phone.
But to be fair, I am a kind of a big LG person, so getting all of the...
Wait, what?
Right.
Get out of here. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. AT&T and Verizon have joined in the advertising boycott against Google over offensive YouTube videos.
So this is an interesting topic that was actually discussed on NPR, I think this week. And there's sort of two sides to the coin here. while I understand why a lot of companies are kind of pulling out and away from YouTube and away from Google a little bit, they're kind of stabbing themselves in the foot. Because
companies or Google?
Companies.
Or YouTube? Okay.
The number one thing when it comes to advertisement is you want to get to the most people possible.
And where's
period.
That? YouTube.
End of discussion. The only reason you would, like they are doing, pulling out is if there was a huge backlash, specifically, whether it be a commercial, whether it be whoever you're advertising with, and you would do a little damage control there. There is no damage control to YouTube. Those are the users. The users of YouTube are the ones that need to be doing the damage control to themselves. The companies should be going full in. You know, there's been a few YouTube hiccups here and there by notable users. I don't even want to go on the list of who they are. You know who they are.
Exactly.
But the point is, it's the users and not YouTube, not Google. And these advertisers will learn that quickly, and I think that they will be back within the year.
I'm sure they'll be back because I think Google is going to look at this and go, okay, so maybe we do need to kind of police some of the content some of our users are putting out there, because you can kind of go on there and do some pretty interesting searches, and I'm sure you can find some of the stuff that these companies don't really want to be having their ads appear on in front of, you know, terrorism and hate speech. Just
that's fair enough.
Two examples.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But at the same time, if a hate speech person or a terrorist person
goes viral,
well, it's not even that. It's they're going to use your product whether you like them to or not.
Well, I don't think that's kind of what they're worried about. They just don't want their product name associated with those videos whatsoever. They just don't want their ads appearing in front of, some ISIS moron cutting somebody's head off or something.
Right, yeah.
Or
somebody I guess I get that.
Crazy with the hate speech and stuff.
Yeah, I guess I get that. I guess, like you said, maybe there does need to be a little step up from Google to police a few things. Facebook is actually getting really good at this about the whole fake news thing. You can report, and once you have enough reports, it'll have a little tab that says, "Oh, this website or this news is disputed."
Been flagged enough.
It's disputed right now, so don't trust what you're seeing. I think things like that are good. It's not censoring. It's just warning you, hey, you might want to take a second look at what this is before you decide to click.
Now, we know YouTube has some pretty hellacious algorithms or whatever that's running in the background that scans all these videos and stuff like that for copyright infringement and a variety of things. So obviously they can kind of key in on certain things when it comes to hate speech and anything that's really remotely like that don't need to be on here.
No, absolutely not. And the problem is a lot of those things that you were just mentioning, while they work, sometimes they work too well and they flag people's own material. Exactly. And it gets taken down and they lose money.
Yes.
So,
but there is the dispute process that you can go through.
But they're losing money at that point.
Yeah, because
they need to be back paid.
By the time that it goes through the dispute process, whether it's 24, 48, 72 hours, however long it takes, that's views that could be garnered, because if, for example, a video goes viral after it's been put in dispute, it goes from 175 views all the way up to, 575,000. You just lost a significant amount of views that could have counted towards you getting a check in the mail or not.
Right, exactly. And there for sure needs to be a lot looked at. And I'm sure, one of the biggest tech companies in the world, Google, or Alphabet as they're called now.
Alphabet.
Will figure it out.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens. I don't see AT&T and Verizon being gone from Google and YouTube for long. It's time for app entertainment and hardware picks. So, as I kind of mentioned to you yesterday, Brad, Super Mario Run is now available on Android. Seems like a couple months after it launched on iOS.
Felt like forever.
It did. And I think it was kind of rumored, oh, yeah, it's going to show up about the same time as the Nintendo Switch launched.
That's what I imagined.
March 3rd came. March 3rd went. 10th came, went. 17th came, went.
Yeah, there wasn't a peep.
Nothing. Nothing like, hey, it's almost here. It's okay.
Then
getting there.
Was it the end of last week? They were like, hey, it's coming next week. Or the beginning of this week, even.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it hasn't been announced or kind of really close to being date given. But anyway, it's out. Did you end up getting it? Because I know you were saying
I got it. I
am
am actually a little hesitant to start it because of the imminent LG G6. I don't know if it's a cloud save deal.
Well, you have to have an online connection to play.
It's true.
So I would
maybe
imagine it's going to be.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's cloud save. It'll be tied to your Google account.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just do it. Jeez, you'll be fine.
Probably. But yeah, I have it downloaded. I just haven't gotten around to play it because I've been a little busy this week. So
right. And I mean, I have to admit, since I've had it on my iPhone, I've opened it up less times than dollars that I paid for it. Again, busy and just so many different things. And when I do think about it, it's like, oh, this will be fun. And whenever I was on the cruise, I wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. I'm like, can't really play it. So.
For me, it's not about how many times I open it. It's about paying Nintendo money. I think they are well deserved for a great game that I hope that they'll develop more games like, not exactly like this, but
quality characters and an experience.
Exactly, because they have a huge, deep library, kind of like Disney, of characters that they can bring forward to make great standalone mobile games.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
So that is why I am buying this. And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. Pay with your wallet as you do. I'm doing my own thing, and that's how I usually go about it. If I really like an app like Pocket Casts, I buy it on every platform because
you're going to use it.
I'm going to use it.
But don't go leaving a 1-star review because because of the whole pricing freemium. Ooh, free to download and start playing. But if you really want to play it,
no, I usually tend to report those 1-star nonsense,
stupid reviews.
Yeah, and stupid is even too easy on that. It is a nonsense review. It is nothing to do with the app. It is your personal gain that you're putting a 1-star on a product that is not only fine, but fantastic. And I just don't like that kind of thinking.
It's kind of silly. I know that was a big thing on iOS. I don't really know how bad it has been on Android since release. I know there was a whole bunch.
Right now it's rated at 4.3.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit higher last I had looked, which was last night. And there's just a smidge of the inevitable 1-star reviews.
Right.
Then there were a lot of good reviews that were saying, ignore the 1-star reviews. They're being moronic and stupid reasons why they're giving it a 1-star review.
Yep.
Haven't even played the game, probably, for one
Probably
thing.
not.
And on Android, you could probably get this for free if you're using the Google Rewards program.
Yeah, essentially I am. Google is paying me, and I'm using that money to pay Nintendo.
Yep.
I don't see a problem.
Like the other day, I got like 16 or 17 cents just for answering the question, are you aware of Disney? I said, well, yeah.
Are you aware of breathing?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
here's 17 cents.
Yeah, I had gotten the question, are you aware of GE, General Electric? I'm like, I would hope so. A lot of my products in the house are that, so.
All right. It was just kind of interesting to get that kind of a silly poll or survey question. I'm like, yeah, I think I've heard of them a couple times. In the last so many hours, I've heard of them. So, yes, I'm aware. Again, great app, folks. If you're not using the Google Opinion Rewards, whatever it's called, get on it on Android. I wish it was available on iOS so that I could get free credit to the Apple App Store. That would be great.
I'm sure there's a reason Apple doesn't want that on there.
I'm sure there is too. But anyway.
The new games with gold for Xbox are coming up here in April.
And what are they?
Well, from April 1st to the 30th, you can get the launch title Rise, Son of Rome on Xbox One. and that is the launch title that launched with the game in 2013. It's from the Crytek engine. It is a gorgeous game. It plays pretty decent. I am still interested. I have never played it yet. I was waiting for it to become a Games with Gold because inevitably it had to, because
it didn't have to.
Well, they sort of went out of business, so there's that. Anyway, or had business issues. The Walking Dead Season 2. If you're a huge Walking Dead fan and you really like Telltale games, this is the game for you. And that's April 16th through May 15th.
It's the mid-monthers.
Yes, and that is Xbox One. That is the this sequel to the original Telltale Walking Dead game. I was not a fan of the Walking Dead Telltale. I know a lot of people that are, and that's fine. It's just, it's not my game. I preferred The Wolf Among Us out of all the Telltale games. The next game is an Xbox 360 game, and it's Darksiders from April 1st to the 15th. Now, this is the game that I want because it is a very Zelda-esque game in a sort of open world kind of deal. And basically, the premise behind Darksiders is you're one of, or at least the boss, I can't remember. Each game that goes forward is like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So it's an interesting concept. I really do want to play that game. Last but not least, Assassin's Creed Revelations, probably one of my least favorite. I could go back and play it, might change, but it's April 16th through April 30th. And that is, again, Xbox 360. But seeing an Assassin's Creed game on here is pretty cool. I don't mind that at all. I really do like the series. I kind of shied away from them. I still need to beat the last two I got, let alone the newest one that's out. So the catalog just goes back and back and back.
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed Revelations has been available for 5 years now, released on May the 22nd. And both of these, the Revelations and the Darksiders, just went backwards compatible on the 360 to Xbox One. So
yes, anytime, and like we've said in the past, anytime a 360 game shows up in Games for Gold from here on out, it will be backwards compatible. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. Super cool stuff. This looks like a good month to me. A lot of these games I will download and probably play.
So according to the Xbox Marketplace, Assassin's Creed Revelations has a 4.5 rating out of almost 159,000 reviews. That's pretty good. And it's kind of pretty much the same with Darksiders. It's about 4.5 stars as well out of 36, almost 37,000 reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So
good stuff.
Yeah, apparently. Both rated M for mature.
Actually, I think all of these games are.
Probably. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, there is a rumbling of this autoplay video that says that was during a Reddit AMA earlier this week.
Ask me anything.
Yeah. The Assassin's Creed head of content, Haimar Azizia, and I'm probably butchering that name, so all apologies to him and anyone else who might know that I just butchered it. He has revealed that they are working on an Assassin's Creed TV series. Now, no networks mentioned, but the Ubisoft CEO said that the company was in talks with Netflix for a series, but he did not say which Ubisoft property might be spun into a show. So, it is possible that it's Assassin's Creed. But I think another one that would be pretty cool to see would be something like
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs might be good as well. I was kind of thinking along the lines of, what was that where I can't think of the name of that game series that was on like original Xbox. It was kind of a man dressed in black, and it was kind of like a Metal Gear style game. He's wearing the little night vision thing.
Oh, like Ghost Recon?
No.
Splinter Cell?
Splinter Cell. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another cool game idea I think I would like to see Ubisoft do would be Splinter Cell as a TV series. I think that would make for a pretty cool, because people like these
espionage stuff,
the 24 series and Spies and GoldenEye, James Bond stuff. I think that'd make for a great movie or TV series.
I think it would be cheaper to make than Assassin's Creed as well.
Yeah, because you got to really do a whole lot of special effects and all this stuff with Assassin's Creed.
Not only that, but just think of the costumes.
Yeah, the costumes.
If you want to be true to the series, you are historically accurate on a lot of things.
Exactly, yeah. And that's a challenge that can be very, very expensive. So Ubisoft is also reportedly at work on a sequel to Assassin's Creed. So we'll have to find out a little bit more. I think it would be pretty darn cool.
From what we know, Kotaku, I believe last year, leaked information about the next Assassin's Creed game being in Egypt.
Yeah, I think they're calling it maybe Empire or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that might be correct. But I look forward to it. I still have to see the movie. I didn't get around to it.
I've heard the movie was horrible. That's just what I heard. Don't shoot the messenger.
I could see that, especially if somebody's going in and they've never played the games. They just go and watch the movie. I could definitely see why it would be horrible.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see on this.
But speaking of movies.
Yeah. You got to see one the other day.
So, friend of the show, Justin, won a little kind of mini contest. It just seems like they always pick him. But we have been to a few of the advanced screenings for movies, and the second one that we went to was Life, which is the sci-fi horror movie by Sony coming out, and Columbia Pictures, Village Roadshow Pictures. Anyway, my God, was that movie great. I'm really going to refrain from too many details because I really don't want to give anything away. I went in pretty blank. The previews as we watched.
Yeah, we've seen the trailer before, even watching it again today before you've seen the movie.
Yeah, and we've seen them a few times. What I guess I didn't realize is in the previews they do a very, very good job of hiding the creature, and I think that is intentional and the only way to make it more effective in the movie. And I have not seen a sci-fi horror movie this good since maybe Alien. I think this is probably one of the best sci-fi horror movies in quite a long while.
So did Ryan Reynolds break the fourth wall like Deadpool or
not quite?
Like that would have been cool if he'd have done that.
But he is a little bit of a funny character, and I enjoy that.
He typically plays a somewhat funny character in pretty much all his roles.
I think that's just kind of his personality.
Could be.
And it's fine because it worked for his part in the movie. It worked for his character. So don't think, you're going to see some goofy movie with him making jokes all the time. That's not how this goes. This is very, very well done. The sound design is fantastic. The music is creepy. And again, the creature that you will eventually see, the character model for the creature is terrifying. So I have not seen anything like this since Alien. And it just really is nice to see this genre alive and well.
So the three recognizable names that you will know that most everybody will recognize is Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Rebecca Ferguson, even though I'm not sure who she is and what else she's been in. But apparently she has been in Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, The Girl on the Train. She was in Hercules with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And it looks like she was also in a movie called Florence Foster Jenkins with Meryl Streep and Hugh Grant.
Yeah, if you are remotely a sci-fi / horror kind of film buff or what have you, I highly recommend going to see this. It was fantastic.
So as of right now on IMDb, it's 7.6 out of 10 out of 1,579 ratings. Is it something that you think would still be worth watching at home?
I'm going to buy it.
You guys buy all the movies.
No. We only buy the movies we really like. I am buying this movie. This was a very, very fun ride.
Okay.
And the tension is there the whole movie. And
it's relatively short at an hour and 43 minutes, it says.
Oh,
Did it feel that way? Or did it feel you like, it was a great pace and
perfect length?
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome, but it didn't just bug out Yeah, that's fine.
I guess not all movies need to be an hour and a half, and not all need to be over
2 hours.
2:15.
Yeah, for sure. It was there as long as it needed to be, and it told the story that it needed to tell.
Leave any possibility for them to do a sequel? I mean, you don't have to really spoil, but just do you feel I could see it, or I don't really get any feeling that...
I think this is a standalone movie.
Okay.
And I do like that. Nope. I'll leave it at that.
Ooh, I was trying to get it, folks. Trying to get that spoiler. But no. Secret is safe with Brad.
Yep. You got to go see it. That's all I'm saying.
See it.
I have to own this movie now, but you have to go see it.
Okay. So if you do get a chance to go see it this weekend or anytime during its theatric run, hit him up.
Yeah,
Holy_shadows. Let him know what you think.
Yeah. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah. And just one last real quick thing on the app entertainment and hardware picks will be a podcast. The MS Mobile Show has been resurrected from the dead. It's alive.
Sweet.
And I am kind of like a part of this first real episode because Vernon wanted to talk with me and just kind of like rehash kind of the beginning of MS Mobile Show and just kind of learn a little bit more about me. So if you would like to learn a little bit more about me, check out the latest episode of the MS Mobile Show featuring myself.
Are you producing it again?
No.
Okay.
I'm not involved in any way.
So he just had you on as guest kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
The show is entirely him. He has full control of it from here on out.
I was just curious.
Yep. So best of luck to Vernon E.L. Smith, and I believe Aaron Hall is his new, expected to be regular co-host. Cool. But he's going to be doing some different things. Just
Mr. Mobile?
No. So it is Aaron Hall, and his Twitter handle is @GoodThings2Life.
That's right. Yeah, he's been a guest on the show.
On MS Mobile Show, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's been a guest host on there, or just as a guest, one of the two. Maybe both.
Yeah, he'll fit in good.
Yeah. He does love his Microsoft stuff as well, so it'll be interesting to see what it is they do and continue bringing the show back and rebuild their
Maybe I'll swing by one episode.
Yeah, we did mention you. You were mentioned on the episode as well that you had been on once or twice. I could remember for sure.
Yeah, like once or twice. I can't actually remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it, I wouldn't say crazy, is the fact that the show was still getting a good amount of downloads, even though it hadn't been episodes released in a while.
You see, the Microsoft Mobile people, very passionate
people. That's what I've always loved about that group.
Yep.
Absolutely. It was the first group that wanted to have a meetup.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to get something going on Android and Apple, but nope.
Really?
I said nope. Nobody wanted to do it. I'm like, okay.
That's actually where we met.
That is actually where we met. And now look at us.
Imagine that.
Podcasting and drinking flavored water.
Uh-huh.
With a little kick to it.
Actually, we can go into what that flavored water is.
It is that time.
In just a sec.
And now it's time for that beer pick of the week.
So this week here in St. Louis is quite an obvious choice. And for any of you who have had a city-wide pale ale, well, the second version, the city-wide Pils, is now in the market.
What's Pils stand for?
That would be a Pilsner.
Ooh.
Which, for those of you who know, I believe it is the macro brewery Miller does Pils. So if you know what that is, it's like that, but think of it more crafty. No, Four Hands is absolutely a fantastic brewery here in St. Louis. Definitely on my top 5 list.
Yeah, they're like knocking on the door for me. It's really getting tight between Four Hands and Schlafly for me.
Oh, yeah.
I think overall I still lean a little bit more towards Schlafly, but man, it's a toss-up. I don't really think there's anything I would turn down from either one.
So the number one reason why I'm still more in the Schlafly camp than I am in the Four Hands is because, number one, they have a fantastic Oktoberfest, and number two, they have a fantastic pumpkin ale. And those are bar none like some of my favorite stuff to have, especially when fall rolls around.
And the thing that I like most about Four Hands is the fact that the great majority of what they release is all in cans.
Absolutely. And in fact,
everything is all in cans except they're like special releases.
Well, right, like your 750 milliliters that you
Yes.
would keep in a cellar.
Yes.
Anyhow, they have a German Pilsner now, and it's in the citywide kind of, can that we kind of were just it's blue this time instead of white. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. And I believe you were just telling me earlier that this goes to a few organizations around here in St. Louis, including the one we're actually podcasting in.
Yes. So the 2017 citywide recipients, the reason why they call this citywide is because it helps support different kind of organizations and segments in the St. Louis area. So this year, 2017, the benefits from some of the sales of this, like a certain portion of each sale goes to help support these recipients, which are essentially focused towards St. Louis local entrepreneurs, such as CIC St. Louis, where we used to record the show, mm-hmm. and then also the International Institute of St. Louis, Nebula, another co-working space, Big Brothers Big Sisters program, KDHX, which is a local radio station here, kind of a smaller kind of level.
Publicly funded, fantastic.
LaSalle Park, LaSalle Park, and of course, Tech Artista, where the Two Guys Talking East podcast studio is located.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the unofficial beer or official beer of Tech Artista.
Exactly. So by being here at Tech Artista, I imagine I'm going to have a little bit of access to this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing because I got a little refrigerator that could stand to have some more in it. Mm-hmm. And it's good stuff. Again, as you mentioned, right now on Untapped, it is at a 3.92 rating out of 69 ratings, 5.5 ABV, which is the same as the regular citywide.
Actually, this is weird right now because it is a new beer. Mm-hmm. There's two separate listings for this. Oh. Mine is at a 3.92 with 120 total of this month. I'm sure eventually this will get worked out, but I usually tend to go for the one that's already had more logs in it. So I've actually logged it under the one with the 120 rather than the 60 something. Anyhow, it is.
Yes, I do see the other one. Its cumulative rating is like 3.6, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bunch of pictures there. But it's only got like 11 ratings, so it was added on the 18th of March, and then the one that we are referring to was added on the 1st.
Okay, I see what we're looking at now. Yep.
Yeah, so there's kind of that difference. So that's the one that I would check in on is this one. With the more ratings, it was added first, because I would imagine that was actually added by Four Hands themselves. I would hope they would have done.
Yes, because they were the ones that knew it was coming. I do like another thing that Four Hands does, and that's pairings. Mm-hmm. And on the side of this one, because it's a Pilsner, it goes good with slingers, which, oh, buddy, do I love slingers.
It's like crazy breakfast mashup meals.
And square pizza. If you're in St. Louis, you know what I'm talking about. The square beyond compare, buddy.
Right. The thin crust, like Emos.
Toppings to the edge.
But see, why would we talk about that when we got Dogtown Pizza that we can cut up at home and make it into our own like little square
triangles or squares?
Yeah, we can cut
you
that
can do
squares.
it any way you want.
Any way you like. I like the little square. I feel like I'm getting more pizza when I do that. I don't know why.
It's just easier to hold.
Yeah, it's easier to hold. It's kind of like that, ooh, I've eaten more pieces, instead of if you cut a regular size frozen pizza evenly, you get like 8 pieces.
Right.
Here, whenever you do that, you get like 4 across there, you get like 7 on the bottom, so it feels like you're getting 7, 8 pieces. You feel like you're getting more for your money.
And they fit on the plate better.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Instead of having flip-flop them, the pointy end different directions. I'm a square guy. I like just cutting them up in squares. That's me. Mm-hmm. I don't mind cutting a little extra. It's okay. So Citywide Pilsner is fantastic. If you live anywhere near, or you just want to visit St. Louis again, St. Louis is a pretty great place to visit. That's all I'm going to say. Great place to visit, especially if you love beer.
Quite a few places to eat that are fantastic. We've actually, we've been around the country quite a bit, especially myself. And when we give recommendations, 9 times out of 10, you better believe that place is going to be good, because We don't give bad recommendations. I'm talking about.
We try not to.
Talking about my wife and I. I know you know quite a few good places around here too, but big foodies.
Big foodies. I like food. If you've seen me lately, you know I like food.
Tell you what, real quick before we kind of start wrapping things up, I did have the best gooey butter cake here in St. Louis that I've ever had in my life. And that was from a little coffee shop across the street from me called Park Avenue.
Park Avenue Coffee.
Their coffee's fantastic. That gooey butter cake was a league in its own. It was amazing. Want some good gooey butter cake, go to Park Avenue Coffee. There's 3 locations.
3 locations around St. Louis area. All right. That does it for this episode of the Tech Informist. We hope that you have enjoyed it. And we're going to try to get these things pushed out a little bit on better time. And again, that falls down on me. Brad's the one doing the editing.
I was going to say, it depends if I don't get to the editing right away, though.
Right.
So
we're wrapping up pretty early tonight. A lot earlier.
We are.
So that's cool. I like that. And that does it. Like I mentioned, if there's anything that you would like to talk more about that we did talk about, or there's anything else that you feel that we missed this week, please let us know. Email contact@thetechinformist.com or hit us up on Twitter @techinformist, @KevinHarvell, or @holy_shadows. And I've been trying to post a little bit more on Instagram, so Kevin_Harvell if you would like to follow that. And then
you've been putting your trip stuff in.
Some Mexico pictures, my cruise pictures, like the video of the guy that missed the boat. Oops.
Oh, Toodaloo. I might have missed that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look that up. But I have actually been putting a lot up recently. And actually I've been putting a little Gears of War in there because why not? I have a little record button on my little chat pad and I just hit the little X2 button and it's just like, bloop, record. And we'll cut it down real nice and neat and just stack in there what I wanted to see. And some funny little clips in there. But I have been playing a lot of Gears of War recently. I've been kind of getting back into... I don't know what it is about that game, but my God, they are bar none one of the best multiplayer games out there.
Okay.
And you don't even have to play against people. You can go play the Horde mode, which actually... I mean, that's where Halo got the idea. That's where Call of Duty got the idea for the zombies. It was Gears 2 who brought out Horde mode, and that's all she wrote. It wasn't maybe the first, but they did it the best.
Okay. I will take your word for it, because that's not a multiplayer that I've ever really played, because I'm pressed for time. I'm an old man, I ain't got all time for all this stuff.
I will say there is quite the learning curve if you want to play against people, especially right now, since the pool isn't as big as it was during launch. So the people you're playing against right now are probably some of the better ones, including myself. I'd say I'm pretty good.
Oh, man, there's no bravado over there, is there?
No, I'm pretty good, but I'm not amazing.
Yeah.
There are some amazing...
You're not tournament level.
No, there are some amazing players out there, and kudos to them for being as good as they are, because I'm not that.
Yeah, it's impressive. Just all these people, these fast hand-eye coordination. It's like, y'all good. Y'all good. I still watch some of these videos from like Titanfall. I'm like, whoo, man, I would have got tore up on that.
Right.
So I'm not getting a chance to play near as much as I'd like. So I'm very out of practice.
Yeah, the next game I'm kind of just waiting for is, believe, Yooka-Laylee, the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. Actually done by the same people, the lead same people.
Right. Not under the same Bungie and...
Rare.
Okay.
But no, they left Rare to start this company. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It comes out in April. Super excited.
Nice. And I'm still enjoying Zelda Breath of the Wild. So again,
of course you are.
It's fantastic. It's really cool. Really cool. I've spent some time running around throwing chickens in a pen, just like the old days. Hey, catch 10 chickens and throw them in the pen, and there you go.
What? Chicken chaser? You like to chase chickens?
Yes, I like to chase my chickens. It's just a fun game. And I know there's missions, and you got to go here and go there. And I just like running around looking for shiny things on the ground so I can run over and see what it is. Get on your horse, kind of walk a little while, or just ride a little while, and gallop a little while, and slow down. Whoa, get off and go pick something up and battle some blue globs and some other little things. It's just fun. I can't recommend it enough. So if you haven't gotten a Switch yet, I do believe that there's more coming because I think Toys R Us this weekend is supposed to get some more.
Oh, don't even
on
tell
Saturday.
me that.
Yep. The Saturday, Toys R Us. 2 days from the time that we're recording this.
God.
Be there when it opens. $2.99. Get your own. Get your own and a little $60 Breath of the Wild.
Eventually.
You will. All right. Like we said, that does it for this episode of the Tech Informist. Thank you so much for listening. And until we talk again next time, consider yourself informed. We're out.
Oh, come on!